The global bond market has gone through, over the last 2 years, quite significant repricing. We've seen the fastest pace of interest rate hikes in the last sort of 40 years. And so this means that today, as things stand, the bond yields on offer across the global fixed income space, really whether it's on the investment grade or the high yield sides, are offering extremely compelling valuations versus what we have seen in the last 15 to 20 years. And so we feel that as you're reaching an environment of a peak in interest rates and likely cuts on a forward-looking basis, that puts fixed income in a very compelling place relative to other asset classes. So the US economy has been extremely resilient in 2023. Recent sort of data prints have continued to show very resilient labor market as well as a very strong consumer. However, we have seen inflation falling down considerably versus the peaks that it had reached of around 8 to 9%. And so with this falling inflationary backdrop, we do expect that interest rates have peaked and will cut in future. The market currently is pricing around 150 basis point of rate cuts in 2024. Our expectation is probably less than that and more in line with central bank expectations, just given the resiliency of the economy. Yes, so sector preferences will be quite heavily dependent on which segments of the markets you're talking about. Within, for example, the high yield space, one of the sectors we've been quite constructive on has been energy. This is a sector that had lots of fallen angel activity during the initial COVID outbreak, providing opportunities to invest in quite attractive companies. The sector also has been managed very conservatively from a credit fundamental standpoint through the expectation for the energy transition to come. And finally, with some of the supply chain disruptions that we've seen with geopolitical escalations, that also potentially puts some upside opportunities within this space. Some of the other sectors that we've also liked has been the leisure sector, which has benefited from a very resilient consumer. And then, sectors like telecommunications, for example, which tends to be a little bit less cyclical in nature, also has some attractive opportunities.